Hi there and welcome to Motivation Monday. My name is Tonia and this is my helper Millie, and we are going to do some exercise today. So if you can find yourself in a nice safe space where you have a bit of room, it's helpful if you have a chair or something to use as support, and possibly a exercise mat for later on to lay on the floor. And if you prefer to wear something sturdy on your feet for stability, you can wear your shoes. But other than that, what we're going to work on today is just some basic exercises that you don't need any other equipment other than yourself. Is finding a timer, setting it for 5 minutes, and just getting used to making that part of your day. And when the timer is going, then so are you. And you can just start by reaching up to the sky and stretching up those shoulders, stretching really tall, and then letting your air out, reaching down towards the floor. Now, if you want to have a seat in the chair, Millie can show you how to do this in sitting, so have a seat. And then reaching up to the sky, just getting the circulation going, waking up and feeling how good it is to stretch as tall as you can and let the air out and breathe. Go down to the floor and then roll back up. And if you prefer to do this sitting, Billy will show you just warming up a little bit your joints. You can just march your legs up and down in the chair, getting a little bit of blood flowing. And then we can do just a little knee bend and up. And in the chair, why don't you just lift one foot and then the other, alternating, little knee bend and up, just to warm up the muscles in the hips so you feel like you're getting warmer and maybe feeling like your breathing's getting a little deeper. Okay, so your muscles are warming up. So after you feel like your muscles are warmed up, then we're going to try a little bit of a twist. So in the chair, keep your bum in the chair and just reach across. So you're twisting, and when you're standing, just try twisting. And then the other way, reaching across, twisting, trying to keep your feet planted, your hips planted, get a nice twist. Come back to the middle, roll your shoulders around, squish them up really tight, and then relax them down. And then with our last minute before our timer goes, we're going to work on balance. So you can come stand behind the chair if you need help for balance, or have a chair beside you. And then just put your weight equally on all two feet, and stand really tall. Focus on something on the other side of the room, and then just shift your weight to one foot. And that other foot is loose and can lift right up off the ground. Then if you need a bit of support, you can put your hand on the chair and you're balancing on that one leg, and then come back to the other leg, and the weight is all on your other foot and the other one swings free. So we're doing just a little bit of a balance exercise. Now you can come back to the middle and then back onto the first foot again. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, then stick your foot out to the front, to the side, and back. Okay, and down, and then to the other side, lift up The other leg, lift it forward, back, and back down, okay? And then just to round it all off, reaching up to the sky again and coming down towards your toes and rolling up. And I think that was our 5-minute timer. It was supposed to ding, ding. Okay, now we're gonna get into doing a little bit more exercise using your muscles. If you can, standing with your weight equally on both feet, standing really tall. We're going to lower the hips down. You're gonna keep the tummy tight. Bring your arms forward if you can and sit like you're gonna sit in a chair. Okay, now if you're finding that a little bit too difficult to go down and up, you can also have the option of sitting in the chair. Okay, and Millie can show you that one if you can just sit on the chair. And if you're sitting in the chair, then you can work on lifting your foot, alternating one at a time. Really squeeze that muscle, okay? But for the rest of us, if we can stand, we're gonna lift those arms forward, keep that tummy tight, and really try and lower like you're gonna sit on a chair that's invisible. And come on, back up, okay? So we're shooting for 5. You get to 5, you're doing great. Just do as many as you can. Okay, now the legs are warm, let's do a little bit of shoulder work. So standing nice and tall or sitting in the chair if you prefer. So we're gonna reach with your right arm up and squeezing those shoulder muscles and down, keeping your neck long, reach up, get those shoulder muscles really working and feeling the warmth in the between the shoulder blades as you squeeze and keeping your neck long. That's important. Don't crunch up your neck. Okay, how's that feeling? Should be feeling a little warmth, but it shouldn't feel too hard, right? Now, as you get more used to this exercise, this is one where you could add weights to it, but right now we're just getting started, warming up. Good. Okay, now just relax those shoulders, move them around a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna go back to doing exercise with the legs again. Okay, so if you liked that squat that we were doing before, you can do that one again. Otherwise, I'm gonna show you another way you can do a squat with support of the wall. So if you prefer this for your knees, have a railing to hold on to and tuck your tummy tight, lower the seat down, your arms stay straight, and you go till your knee is still greater than 90 degrees. Okay, and you should be starting to feel those thighs working, starting to feel some heat in the seat. That's a good thing. Okay, coming on back. Exercise. So if you prefer to stay seated, when you're in the chair, you can curl the biceps up and down. You can come over to the wall, put your hands shoulder height, and keep your tummy muscles tight, and let your elbows bend towards the wall, and your nose comes toward the wall, and then you push the wall away from you. So lean towards the wall and push the wall away from you. Neck stays long. arms should be feeling like they're doing some work. And nice and warm. Okay, how's that? Okay, how's that feel? Good? Like your muscles are getting a good warming up? Okay, then come on back to your chair support and take a small step this way. Keep those tummy muscles tight. You can use this for balance, and you can do a little dip down and up, and you're working the glute muscles, the big muscles of the seat on the leg that's bent, okay? And if you're seated, let's do some side stepping with your leg to the side of the chair and back to the middle, and to the side and to the middle. And we should be getting to 5 on this leg, and then we'll switch to the other leg. Take a small step, okay? About still hip width apart. Nice, and tighten the tummy and lower yourself down just a little bit. So you're squeezing that seat muscle down and up, down and up, and approximately 5. Okay, so we should be feeling some good heat in those hips. And we're ready to do another arm exercise. So if you want to go back to the wall to do the wall push-up that we just did, you can stick to that position up here. If you want to try a bit more of a challenge, if you have a table, something a little bit lower that's stable, you can put your hands on the table, your feet away so that you're in almost like a plank position. Try and hold that nice and tight. Squeeze the tummy. Okay, and if you're in the chair, you can just punch towards the sky. One and then the other, up, left and right. If you're on the table, you're squeezing the abs and keeping the neck long. See if you can rotate those elbows forward. And then bend the elbows slightly, down and up. Okay, this is a little bit more challenging than the wall. So if you can do the one on the table, that's great. But if you find that too difficult, you can do the one at the wall, again like this, where you're just pushing down, elbows down towards the wall, pushing against with your hands, forehead to the wall and back. So you get some good heat in the shoulders. Okay, we're gonna do one more with the legs. This is your big squat challenge. And if you're seated, you can keep going with the quads, squeezing the thigh muscles. And if you're up for the big squats, again, feet hip width apart. See if you can come down low, and this time we're going to come up as fast as you can, up, try and touch the ceiling. If you have a roof right there, come down and then burst up. Okay, now if that seems a little bit too hard for you, then just do the mini squats right in the spot right here. But if you can handle it, we're gonna go, this is our last big exercise. Come down deep, and then try and touch the ceiling. And down, and come up and touch the ceiling. Good job. One more for good luck. And up. And you can come and stand behind your chair if you need a little bit more help with balance. And standing really tall, you can take your weight onto one foot, and then the other leg lifts to the side. So we're going to do little side leg lifts. That way, it also helps to challenge your balance a little bit by standing on the one leg. Okay, now if you're feeling really brave, you can try and close your eyes. That makes it really quite challenging, and by challenging your balance, you make your balance reaction stronger, and that's a good thing. Okay, and then we'll come back to the middle and switch feet and lift the other leg. Okay, be nice and strong, keep that core engaged, lift the leg to the side, and if you're feeling adventurous, try closing those eyes, see what that feels like, make it harder. Okay, challenge yourself. Okay, if you don't push yourself, no one else will. Great, now just a little bit of marching on the spot, and then we're going to do a few floor exercises, okay? So you can try just marching low like that. If you need help with your balance, you have your chair. Otherwise, we're going to try lifting the arms and the knees, working on that coordination, spinning around, and work all those muscles that are warm. They're feeling good, ready to roll, march. Okay. Give yourself a pat on the back. We're going to put that out there. If you're not able to get onto the floor, you can have a seat on the chair, and I'll tell you some things you can do there. So if you can get down to the floor, we're going to come down onto one knee, put one leg forward like this, and keep that tummy tight. See if you can feel a bit of a stretch on this side. Okay, and if you're in a chair, you can move your leg behind on that side, come right to the edge of the chair, and reach that arm up so that you're stretching along the side of the leg that is down. Okay, and you can even lean a little bit over that way and feel the stretch in the hip. And again, stretching is something that needs to be done nice and slowly, a good 30 seconds at least on each side, and it should feel good. Okay, if it doesn't, then we need to make a change. Take it a little bit easier, okay? Now, see if you can switch legs. Okay, so slide to the other side of your chair. One leg up, one leg down. You may need to put a pillow under your knee for padding. And again, tummy's tight, sitting up nice and tall. So start by sitting up really tall in the chair and reaching straight up to the sky. And once you feel a bit of a stretch there, lean over just a little bit, okay? Keeping it nice and tall, spine is long, neck is long, and you will feel warm, and you need to sit up a little bit so you don't fall out of your chair. Okay, so you should feel a good stretch in the hip flexor, really important stretch. Since we do spend a lot of our time seated, these muscles get really tight, so stretching them is important. Okay, and then if you're able to come down onto hands and knees, okay, you can do a nice rounding stretch up this way and down. And if you're seated in the chair, just let your head come down towards your knees. If you need to spread out your feet a little bit, but see if you can reach for your toes. Just a little bit of flexibility in the lumbar spine. This is a good one if your back is sore. Try and tuck the chin. Okay. And then if you're able, get a really good stretch through the low back. Sometimes the knees don't like this, but if you can come all the way down there. Get that back nice and stretched out. Okay. Now if you're able to go onto your tummy, come down onto the mat this way. And if you're seated in the chair, sit up really, really tall. See if you can put your hands kind of up to your shoulders like this, and just lean back a little bit. So lean right back to the chair. You're a little bit short for that chair. But just see if you can lean backward just a little bit over the chair. And if you're on the floor, you can bring those shoulders up off the floor and keeping the chin tucked down, trying to really extend through that upper back. Okay, again, this should be comfortable. It should not feel painful, but you may feel like it's not an easy thing to do to get to this position. But see if you can try and lift up. Okay, squeeze those shoulder blades. Get some extension. How's it going with the chair? Okay.
Good.
So with the chair. Awesome. Good job. Okay. Now we're going to come on up to the other side of your back. So if you're in the chair, what you're going to do in the chair is come a little bit forward to the edge. Okay. And sit up really, really tall and keep the tummy muscles tight, and you can just very gently lean yourself back in the chair until you feel those tummy muscles. That's far enough. Okay, come back a little bit, right? Yeah, just so you're like little mini sit-ups. And if you're on the floor, what we're gonna do, squeezing those tummy muscles, keeping that back from arching up. Make sure it's pressing down, okay? Holding that nice and tight. See if you can lift one knee off of the ground. And the other one, you should be feeling a little bit of work happening in the abdominals. So the core is very important to the stability of your whole body when it comes to walking and all those things. So a little extra strength helps with balance, coordination. So even just doing a couple minutes of this in your weekly routine makes a difference, okay? You feel your tummy muscles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. Now, as you get stronger with this exercise, you can have legs up and working on lowering one at a time. Make sure this back stays nice and controlled. Doesn't arch up because you can hurt yourself. So keep it nice and strong, okay? And breathe. Make sure you're not holding your breath, okay? Now, you can give yourself a hug. Can you bring one knee up? One knee up, give yourself a big hug. Stretch out that hip if you can. Okay. Now this is another awesome stretch. When you're seated, see if you can bring one foot over to the opposite knee. Can you see me? So you have to sit up really tall and bring one foot to the opposite knee. There you go. And as you're laying down, one foot to the opposite knee. See if you can lift that leg. You can hold on to your thigh and try and relax. Get that stretch through the hip. Okay, and as you're seated, sit really tall. Millie makes it look way too easy. Okay, try and sit really tall. There you go. And 30 seconds at least for the hold. And then coming to the other leg. Okay, when we're laying down, foot on the opposite knee. Okay, see if you, and sometimes this is enough. Sometimes leave it there. As long as you feel a stretch in the hip, comfortable pull. Okay, and then when you're seated, if it's a little bit too much to get your foot up to here, sometimes it's easier if you just bring your foot to there, and or sometimes just crossing it over this. So whatever position you can get to where you feel a bit of a stretch in the hip, that's good enough. Doesn't have to go all the way up. Okay, great. Now we are almost done. So if you're seated still, we're going to work on the twist. Again, do you remember from the beginning, sitting up really tall, really tall, and then reaching across your body nice and slow. Keep your arms up, Millie, like that. And really slow. And then if you're on the mat, we are going to roll onto our sides and arms out the front this way. You can then open up your arms and let that fall towards the floor as best as you can. If you can get to the floor. I don't know if you can see it. Nice and slow, Millie. Okay, this is a relaxing, cool down twist. Okay, it should feel comfortable and good. That's the key with exercise. And then rolling over to the other side. You can do a couple more twists. Really nice and slow because this is cool down. And open the arms up and over. Nice and slow. Your knees are stacked on top of each other. The hips are stacked. So you can open up the arms and feel a comfortable twist in the torso. Breathe, relax. Should be 30 seconds. And down. Okay? Now we have the reward for doing all that work is that you actually get to stretch out on your mat or just relax in your chair and open up your arms. Feel nice and easy, and hopefully you have some good music playing, and relax and take a deep breath in. Nice and big exhale. And then when you're ready, you can wiggle your fingers and toes. And reach up to the sky again. Whatever you feel like doing, giving yourself another hug. Come on up, either to seated or to kneeling. And that's it. So thank you so much for taking this time to move and to exercise. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Namaste.